It is April 5th. I think it's the 5th. It is a Sabbath. But I figured I'd share something that's been on my mind. I had a bit of a sobering thought this morning, and I think I just wanted to share it because I wonder if anyone else will find it practical. But life is short, shorter than we realize, and I think that there are a lot of things that I take for granted. One of which is my parents. I have not taken the time to really think about how much they do for me, or how much I appreciate them, or what kind of hole would be left in my life if they weren't there. My family and I are very close. We talk about everything. I rely on them for the things that I can't deal with as much, or my life has certain focus points that I seem to excel in, and there are other points in which I'm very weak. And in those points and those areas, I really need those people. And my mom and my dad are a great help to me. And I think about that, and it's like, we have a family tradition where we'll get together every Friday night. And sometimes it doesn't happen, but for the most part it does. We have a family dinner, and all of, mom, dad, and then all the siblings, including their families now, will get together and just share a meal, and we'll get together and we'll pray, and we'll read the word together, and it keeps us close. But I gotta wonder to myself, like, it's easy to enjoy those times, and it's really easy to look at that and say, like, this is great, and just live in the moment, but that's not gonna last forever. Like, I have to be realistic, and I'll be coming up on 30 faster than I realize. I'm 26 now, and that time has gone so fast. And so, like, what's another 30 years? 30 years in my life is gonna go by in a flash. And when that time happens, like, somebody's gotta, like, pick up the mantle, someone's gotta say, yeah, I'm gonna uphold this tradition that's so important to me. And I think there's two sides. There's the side where we need to really think about what it is that we've got and appreciate it, and really recognize it for the incredible good that it is. It is a huge, huge blessing to have family, and it's too easily overlooked. And I need to do better at that. And I really need to take time and think about that and contemplate it and enjoy those moments and express it too. And then there's the other side of, like, how to wisely move forward. Because I don't want that to go away, and I want my kids to be able to experience that, and I want all my family's kids to be able to experience that. And so I have to look at this tradition and say, how are we going to continue this, and look to the future? Because my parents, they're not going to be around forever, and I am not going to be around forever, and I need to look at the end and think to myself, what must continue? It's like, it can't be a negotiable, but what must persist? What thing must continue past their lives and past my life? What things are important? And what do I need to do now? Or what can I do now to make sure that that happens? And I don't have an answer for it because I just started thinking about it, but I think it's important that every person evaluate what is truly important in their life. Most people on their deathbed have some regrets. And most of the time, those regrets aren't, I wish I was more wealthy. I wish I would have played sports harder. I wish I would have been bigger. I wish I would have, gotten more muscular. These things are all temporary, singular life-based. And it seems like the one regret is that people wish they had connection. And when you're on your deathbed, you got to be realistic and say, what is it that I'm going to care most about? And how much time are you spending on those things relative to the other stuff? We work a job most days, and that's for money, and is it necessary? Yes, absolutely. And there's a certain aspect where that should continue. But the funny thing is that the thing that will persist is rearing good children that will learn to do the same thing, provide in a manner that is sustainable. It's not to get rich, because wealth is so fleeting. It's but so I would encourage everybody to think about that. Like, what is truly the thing that must continue to the next generation? What do you want your family name to represent? Are you going to be the wealthy ones and everyone in the family is just bitter? You're going to all be super fit. Everybody's super fit and they're all healthy. That's great. But what if you're not connected? Are you going to regret that? Lots of things to think about. Maybe you don't have a super good relationship with your family, with your parents. Are you going to regret that? And what's interesting is that I don't really have necessarily advice in this area. I have some experience in mending relationships, but for the most part, I've been blessed with pretty good relationships. But I think that, mending relationships is not as hard as people may think. I think, take this with a grain of salt, but I think that, fixing a relationship that has been damaged, what it really takes is humility. And the willingness to say, I was wrong, or this is unnecessary. Because so much of the time, the thing that is actually causing the damage is so much less important than the relationship itself. And I just wish I could nail this stuff into my head now. I really need to be able to internalize this stuff because it's something that you don't think about, and I know I'm going to think about it later. I really know. So, think about your relationships. Think about what's truly important. What are you going to either regret or what is the opposite of regret? Enjoy? I don't know. Reminisce, I guess. Yeah, you're either regretting or you're reminiscing. And I want to be on my deathbed reminiscing with people surrounding me. And people that said, yeah, you had a huge impact on our lives. And it's, that would be nice. Anyways, that is the contemplation for the day. Shabbat Shalom. It is a day of rest, reflection, honor. Blessed be the name of Yehovah.